An organizer for immigrant rights and a local school council activist, Olga Bautista is hoping to unseat Alderman John Pope in the far southeast side 10th Ward. I'm Mike Fouché, publisher of Aldertrack, and this is our Meet a Chicago Candidate series. She says environmental degradation, specifically pet coke, is one of the biggest threats to our community. Tell me, Olga, what drove you to run for alderman?
Like many families in South Chicago, my family came to work at the steel mills. Those jobs are no longer there. Now the families are left to deal with the situation on their own. Before you used to be able to send your kids to college, pay for the house, and all the rest of it. Now what we have is a toxic dumping ground in our community. There's not jobs. There's not opportunities for young people. My younger brother, Roberto, he joined the military. He's been in the Army for 10 years. He's been to Iraq twice, Afghanistan once, and it's because he was frustrated with his options. He didn't have the opportunities that other young people have. The military recruits very heavily in the southeast side of Chicago. So I decided to run because first of all, I've dedicated my professional career to improving the lives of people in the 10th Ward. I've been a community organizer around immigration. I've also helped organize the community against the privatization of the parking meters in the neighborhood. And as of late, I've been working on the ban of pet coke, petroleum coke, that comes from the BP refinery in Whiting, Indiana. It's stored openly on the banks of the Calumet River. Our neighborhood has the highest asthma rate, has the highest cancer rate. We're a cancer cluster. Nobody is doing an investigation into the health of the community, yet we have an alderman who rolls out the red carpet for these polluters, and enough's enough. We need to get this man out who doesn't have the best interest of the community. Instead, he's working with these corporations and taking, big donations from them on the regular basis. So, I feel that with the work that we've done around pet coke, I'm proud to say that we have the strictest regulations in the country regarding the storage and the transport of this poison, but it's not enough. All along, we've been calling for a ban, and we feel that if we've pushed this far, that we can push even harder and ban this stuff altogether, just like they have in Detroit and other parts of the country. We're not going to stop until this stuff is out of our neighborhood and we replace it with something that's actually going to be beneficial for our community.
So would you consider yourself, you're probably not a Rahm Emanuel supporter, but would you consider yourself a Garcia or Fioretti or Willie Wilson supporter?
We sent questionnaires to Fioretti and to Chuy Garcia because those are the two candidates that we felt are the most progressive. We do have some issues with some of the stances that they've taken, especially on putting more police on the street. I'm one of the only candidates in the fight in the 10th Ward that says that we don't need more police on the street. Every dollar that goes to more police is money that's not going to prevent children and young people from joining a gang. Joining a gang is free. We need to offer opportunities for our young people so they have a chance to succeed. So we're still waiting to hear from them, and then we'll make a decision on who we would endorse.
So most sitting aldermen would say that ward maintenance issues are their big concern, and you've got a big one with pet coke. Mm-hmm. And that's certainly a neighborhood issue for you,
right?
Unfortunately. What would you say is your big citywide Chicago issue?
Well, right now we're in a situation where they're planning to build this new development, this opulent new community right next to one that is being systematically choked out. It's
you're talking about the Southworks.
It's they call it Lakeside,
right?
And there's been over $100 million allotted to Lakeside Development, and this company hasn't even stepped to the table to talk about a community benefits agreement that includes us. So, it's a big issue. This is going to be double the size of the Loop, what they're planning to do here. So I say that we need to abolish the TIF program. That $1. Now, $1 can go back to this company who is exploiting our community. We don't have options. They won't let us, bid for those jobs. They don't the fact that they're not coming to the table to sign a community benefits agreement shows us that they're not interested in anything that has to do with the well-being of the southeast side of Chicago. So I think that that is the big issue. The big issue in this city is this TIF program, that there's no oversight, there's no transparency, and it's an issue that affects all of us, but especially the 10th Ward because of this huge development that they're planning for.
So you told the Sun-Times that you would favor reducing city council from 50 to 15 aldermen. Wouldn't that take a lot of power from communities like the Southeast Side?
Absolutely not. I believe that if we have a larger area that one alderman is in charge of, then they have to address all of the issues that are in that community. So if you have wards that are in affluent neighborhoods, and they just deal with those issues. And the truth is that the city of Chicago is still very segregated. So we need to be able to have an alderman that can deal with issues of poverty and also redevelopment and the issues that aldermen deal with. And I strongly believe that it's a waste of money. And we can't talk about there's a budget crisis when we have a situation like that.
Spending money on aldermen.
On too many aldermen, and think about all the resources that go into these elections, and then who donates and why, and it doesn't seem like the best way forward. I mean, LA did it. LA is huge, and they have 10, 15 aldermen.
Okay. Well, thank you for joining us, Olga.
Thank you.
You can learn more about the Olga Bautista campaign and almost 200 others by subscribing to our email newsletter at aldertrack.com, by subscribing to this series on YouTube, or by listening to this series on Rivet Radio. Thank you very much. More great stuff to come.